everyone else is going to see you lean forward and going to talk. And then, because that way, if you're just looking at it and taking it in, because you need to take it in because you haven't seen it before, then just you give that, then you have that moment. We don't have to do it. Cool. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the macro category. We have 3 amazing judges here that are going to give you some great feedback, so listen up and see what you can learn. And I'm going to tell you about the category description in just a minute, but I want to give a special thanks to Photo Warehouse for sponsoring the 2026 New Zealand Amateur Photography Awards. We're very lucky to have them on board, so thank you very much. The macro category is for macro and close-up images of any subject. It celebrates photography that reveals fine details of small subjects that may not usually be noticed. Subjects that may include, but not limited to, nature, insects, plants, textures, or everyday objects. The use of physical backgrounds is permitted. The image should clearly show a macro or close-up perspective. Images without a strong focus on details may be better suited to a different category. Any form of editing is permitted in this category as long as it complies with the global rules. Focus stacking and stitching either in camera or in post-production is allowed. No AI-generated content, non-photographic elements, or photographic elements not created by the entrant are allowed. So we have the top 25 here, and we're going to go through all of those until we get to the top 10. Now, these are in a random order. No one knows what order they're in, and no placing or score will be read. So, for now, we're going to get right into it in just a second after we get this really cool video.
Stargazers, gear nerds and storytellers. We've been sharing that passion with Kiwis for generations, filling our shelves with everything from cameras to coolest little gadgets that make you stop and say, that's actually pretty awesome. With 7 stores across New Zealand. We'd love to meet you. Welcome to Photo Warehouse, your local camera store.
All right, thank you very much, Photo Warehouse. We're going to jump straight on in to number 25th place, which was awarded a highly commended. Well done, Nadine. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Nadine. Absolutely beautiful. This is like a coral type fungi, and the name's beautiful. These things are very, very tiny, like really tiny. We're not looking at something 2 or 3 inches, so you've captured it really well, detail from front to back. Well done. I think maybe at most maybe a fraction off the left-hand side, or just darkening it down as in like a minuscule of your highlights, just to keep that focus on your main subject. Well done.
The colour of the coral,
like a coral fungi.
Coral fungi is really well contrasted against that green. Those colours work together beautifully, and you really get a sense of the way that this structure grows, and it's a really beautiful portrait of that. Just like Simone said, I think there's just some really bright bits just at the edges that could have been dulled down a bit, but otherwise, fantastic photo.
Yeah, I agree. Well done, Nadine. And it really is the colour. That's a good point about this image. And yeah, I totally agree with the slight vignetting would have helped around the top and left-hand side.
And this is our 24th place. Congratulations, Jay. And it was highly commended. Well done.
I'm not entirely sure what I'm looking at, but I'm loving that I don't know what I'm looking at. The droplets of water are just beautiful. The way that they're reflecting what's around them, the colour differences there, the bokeh in the background, all of that works really well. I do feel that the bokeh in the background, there's a bright bit just at the bottom that is taking the eye behind the mushroom instead of into the mushroom. That's the only thing that I could suggest to just darken that off a bit. But the luminousness of this and the lighting are just fantastic.
Yeah, excellent image. I mean, I totally agree with the background, the highlight. It actually takes away from the main event, which is obviously the mushroom. I think it's a mushroom. So, yeah, well done.
Just quickly, Jay, perfect way in use of colour. You haven't gone too saturated. I just adore that. Well done.
This image was 23rd and was awarded highly commended. Congratulations, Alex.
Yeah, well done, Alex. Yeah, it's beautifully sharp image, and also I just think the right-hand side, the green, is a little bit too dominant, so I'd probably crop it a little bit more and concentrate more on the little bug.
What I appreciate about this photograph is you've created a bit of a journey for this bug. It feels like it's on a mission and it's about to drop off the edge of a cliff, and that green bit on the right kind of acts as a barrier to what's about to happen. So I think you've crafted it really well. But yeah, I agree. Perhaps a little less of the right would have helped.
Congratulations, Jay. That heavy metallic look. I'm trying to remember the name of this. I think it's called like a steel or a metal ladybug. I'm trying to remember, but you've done this beautifully well. You've really highlighted that. Just the crop needs to be just a little bit tighter for myself. Well done, though.
This image was 22nd place and was highly commended. Congratulations, Nadine.
Nadine, I'm wrapped with this. I'm pretty certain it's a native ice flower. The textures of those petals are so, they look man-made. They look like that woolen rough man-made, but this is in nature. This is done for us to replicate. I adore this. Well done. To improve a tiny bit, maybe just the luminescence of a little bit of that colour, that dominant colour cast in the petals, maybe just pull it up a little bit so we can see a tiny bit more detail of that amazing textures. Well done.
Yeah, it's like an embroidery, those leaves. It definitely has the feeling of fabric and organic fabric. I just think that's very beautifully conveyed in this photograph. In terms of improvement, the background flower on the left, just the edges of the petals there's been some separation of colour, and it is not smooth. If it were smoother, the separation between the petal and the darkness around it, I think it would be a little less distracting. So yeah, if that could be addressed, I think that's the only improvement I can offer. This is a really wonderful image of something I've never seen before.
Yeah, I think with this one here, there's not a lot to improve actually, but if anything, I would slightly darken that flower in the background just to highlight the one in the foreground.
Thank you, judges. And this image was 20th equal place. Congratulations, Michelle. And it was awarded a highly commended.
And it makes us smile. I'm looking at my fellow judges and we're all smiling. What a character. And the fact that you've positioned it where it is to make full use of that quirky look and the diagonals and the strong lines, I think this is really quirky and different and unique. I think you've really nailed the depth of field. I don't mind that the antennae are disappearing into the space. I think the positioning of the critter on the edge, giving it plenty of space to move into, all of that has been really well done. I think the leaf right at the back that leads into the red, so there's just one leaf that curves back there. That's probably a little bit bright for my liking, but apart from that, I think this is fantastic.
Yeah, I really enjoy the colour palette here. It all just seems to harmonise, so well done.
Congratulations, Michelle. I really adore the fact that back leg of this little critter, you've contained that within the red, which sometimes people would think, oh, that's too dominant, it's too different, but you've contained it. And just keeping that detail in the vertebrae and in the middle, underneath the greens of the main body, well done.
This image was 20th equal and was highly commended. Congratulations, Lou.
I've had a bit of fun with soap bubbles, and I believe that's what we're looking at here, but I've never seen it from this angle. And I love the fact that you've made it more abstract, and it looks like there's little squiggly creatures heading into the centre of this organismic centre bit that is calling all of the squiggles. The colour is terrific. Those metallic colours have been really well handled. I think that the panoramic crop has worked really well. My suggestion for improvement would just be that there's quite a bit of noise on the left-hand side of this image that could have been addressed with noise reduction software.
Yeah, I think, well done, Lou. There's the colours, it just draws you in. And if anything, it's really the noise level that I see, and that could be addressed a little bit more. And maybe also, that image stacking would actually give you a complete depth of field on this one. So I'll let you talk.
Congratulations, Lou. I love the almost sperm-like looking of, it's almost like a voyeuristic, as though they're all coming towards that centre. With their own little personalities coming in there, is which one's going to make the match. It's fantastic. Congratulations. And I also just feel quickly that this is man-made, but we're still having fun with things. Still, the forces are still moving through, even with a man-made image. Well done. It's been a real fun image to look at.
This image was 19th place and was highly commended. Congratulations, Jay.
Yeah, I love the brightness of the and the tones of the yellows contrasting with the blue, and it almost reminds me of sort of a nuclear explosion in a way. So well done.
Yeah, the colour is really the strength here. In terms of improvement, I just feel that the depth of field has meant you've got an area that's out of focus in the foreground that's quite bright, and an area that's out of focus in the background that has quite an abrupt drop off, and if those two areas were a little bit more clear or a bit less drawing of the eye, then this would have been a stronger image. But the textures and the colour are fantastic.
All right, this image was 18th place and was highly commended. Congratulations, Paula.
Paula, this is just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It's just so harmonious with the blues and the greens coming in of this very tiny little organism here. A little bit of shafty of that slime that's come through and joined. I can't fault it for improvement. Well done. I'm hoping someone else can for me, because I'm loving it.
The lighting here is terrific. The way that you've lit this fungus has really brought out the texture and the translucence of it, and that's a real strength. I'm not sure if we need quite as much space at the top, but that's a very minor. I know you've cropped it to make it a square. It's a very minor critique, but yeah, I've never seen that. That's really cool.
Yeah, leave that other window. Go.
Yeah. Oh, well done, Paula. Beautifully image and that. And my eyes often go to the little green bits. It looks like a sort of like a group of aphid-like insects, if I'm not wrong. But and it keeps drawing you back into the centre with the little mushroom, and the transparency of it's beautiful.
Awesome, thank you. And the guys here at Majestic are looking after us, because now the judges haven't got the sun in their eyes. Thank you so much. Now, this image was 17th place. Congratulations, Benny. You were highly commended. Well done.
Yeah, excellent image. A nice control of depth of field as well. So whether they've used image focus stacking or not, but it just works in nicely. There's a little bit of a highlight on the bottom right-hand side that I probably would just darken down a bit, and maybe on the left-hand side, just slightly darken that as well.
They would be my suggestions for areas of improvement too, but I think you've captured a beautiful harmonious colour palette here. The browns and the earthy tones work really well, and the translucence of those growths, those fungi, that's been captured really beautifully with the lighting. Congrats.
Benny, you've done really well. Congratulations. It's kind of made us almost feel like, even though such as tiny little things, it's made us feel like these tiny things are wanting to be trees. They're really growing in their strength. The textures that you've got there that are just highlighted beautifully. Nothing's blown out on such a tiny thing to capture. So well done.
Wow. That got me for a second. This image was 15th equal place. Congratulations, Jay. And it was highly commended. And I quite like it.
I love this image. It's great. I mean, even capturing the your light source and the images there and the reflector, and but the colour combination of the blue and the sort of yellowy ochre sort of colour. And even the little wee green plant coming out the side there just adds something to it. The only distraction for me is in the bottom left, that out of focus area. Other than that, really nice.
I'm going to mimic John as well. The bottom left was the only thing that kind of pulled me back. But these colours, the same thing. You've got it perfect. You haven't gone oversaturated and you haven't done it under. Just keep going with what you're doing. I really love this. It's just gorgeous.
The only thing I'll add is that you've captured the characteristic of this fungus beautifully, like the luminous moisture that surrounds it. You've done that really well, and yeah, as John said, the light actually, and the reflection of the light actually enhances that rather than detracting from it. So I think it's a very clever photograph.
This image was 15th equal place and highly commended. Congratulations, Eva.
Love the spiral, and also the way it's photographed with the dark background as well, and it's almost creepy with all those things around it as well. So well done, Eva.
It's almost an art piece. I think the way that you've crafted this image is riveting. They could, I can tell that they're like barnacles, but they could be butterflies. There's a sense of wonder in this photograph that you've captured, and the texture of the shell, the textures of the growths at the edge, but the way that you've lit it and the way that you've composed it accentuate that beautifully.
Congratulations, Eva. I really love this. You can actually smell this image. It really gives a sense of that sea feel and the smell of this, and that perfect Fibonacci effect of this as well. It's just incredible. It's really highlighting the beauty that quite often our eyes don't see. So well done. It's beautiful.
This image was placed 14th and was highly commended. Congratulations, Jay.
Love the colour. It's beautiful. And also, I'm not even sure what it is, but it looks great. But yeah, my only compliment would be just that bottom left-hand corner. It could have been cropped a little bit. Just there's a little bit of a distraction with the out of focus, but other than that, it's beautiful.
The strong diagonals in the centre and the way it's almost like cracked ice, I find absolutely fascinating, and I think that that's the strength of the image. So perhaps a little bit less of the surrounds and a little bit more of the piece that you're photographing. I recognise it's probably absolutely tiny, but even within that, a little bit tighter crop, I think would have really impacted and made it more of a feature.
Yeah, Jay, it's incredible. I think the name of it's eyelash. Eyelash, it's like an eyelash fungi. I think that's the name of it, but I can't remember the second word. But it's definitely eyelash is the first word. Where that crop is too, where Mika was talking about, just on the left hand, just below the middle, there's a little white little patch there that just, I think within the rules you should be able to spot that out, and it would contain within the rules. Gorgeous though, well done, gorgeous detail.
What about a circle crop?
Yeah.
Just saying.
Or rectangular. Yeah. I mean,
Congratulations,
square.
Jay.
Sorry,
We're really
sorry.
enjoying it.
Yeah, we are. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
This image was 12 equal and was highly commended. Congratulations, Perry.
Yeah, well done, Perry. I mean, the colour combination here just really just hits you on the face. It's perfectly in focus all over from what I can see, and just beautifully constructed. It's almost like hands in the foreground coming out to reach you.
I think it's a really masterful depth of field. You've got the bits that not everything is perfectly sharp, and I think that's intentional. I think it works really well. So I think you've really nailed the depth of field here. The only critique that I would have, and it is an explosion of colour, I have to emphasise that. You've said it, but I'm going to repeat it. The only thing that I would suggest is there's I guess I would call it the second finger from the left in the foreground is touching the edge of frame, and that creates a tension in the image that I don't think is echoed elsewhere, and therefore I think it's a distraction. So if you'd been able to just separate that from the edge just by a little bit so it wasn't touching, that would have enhanced the image quite a lot.
Yeah, Perry, well done. Us three judges all saw that, so that's definitely something to address as well. But there's a sense of movement in this, even though it's probably not moving, and it's almost looking like an aerial shot as well. I feel like it's moving. It's almost like I'm moving, and to convey that is just gorgeous. Well done.
This image was 12th equal place, and congratulations, Benny, and you were highly commended. Well done.
Congratulations, Benny. Absolutely gorgeous. The detail is insane. The beads of these droplets, and I think about how tiny this thing is. It's not like it's a few inches. I can't even believe that we can get water droplets that tiny on something that is even tiny. Tiny bit more of a crop on the left-hand side. If I took a tiny bit more space there, if you had it, would have been fabulous. But unreal. Well done.
Yeah, I love this. I mean, the surface tension in the water droplets. I'm just wondering, did you spray them with something to get like that, or is it natural? I'm not sure, but it's wonderful. Thank you.
It's like it's bejeweled, and that magic feeling comes from the light, and you've really captured that so beautifully. It's like we're looking at jewels, and that is so enjoyable. The roundness of those droplets and the liquidousness of them is on show and really, really beautiful. And the subtle colour differences from the green to the ivory just works so beautifully. The light on the vegetation at the top of the frame, I feel is a little distracting. So either crop that bit out or darken it down so that the emphasis stays on the part of the image that we're all absolutely in love with. I think that would help.
You're getting some amazing feedback here. You're so lucky to get some great feedback from our wonderful judges. Now, this image was 11th place, and it was a silver award. Congratulations, Ricky.
Congratulations, Ricky. Silver award. Whoop. I hope you're dancing. Yeah, there's a little bit of this is gorgeous with this little dandelion. The droplets, everything's gorgeous. Love it. It's quite an understated image for sometimes when you see these images, you normally see them quite bright. This is quite understated, muted, and it could almost reflect your personality there. I don't know. But it's yeah, I really admire it, especially those little droplets running either back, up or down on the bottom stem on the reflection. Yeah, you've captured everything really well.
Yeah, well done, Ricky. I just love the background colours, the way they blend in and add to it. There's the only thing I could improve on this image is possibly the reflection is very muddy sort of colour. So I'd tend to crop that out and just concentrate on the top part, which is wonderful.
So the colour, I just think is so soft and beautiful, and the depth of field that has created that bokeh is almost perfect. The droplets right at the base of the dandelion at bottom left are just not quite as sharp as the rest, and so that draws our eyes to them and is a little less rewarding. But I think it's really clever how you've got quite a minimal colour palette on the subject itself, but it's reflecting the colours all around it. That's really well done. And I probably wouldn't necessarily just to address the lightness of the reflection, you could crop it, or you could just darken it down so that it's more contrasty, because I feel that the way that it's presenting doesn't feel quite natural, and I think if it were a bit darker, it would look more natural.
Thank you very much, judges. Ooh, we're up to our top 10. Our top 10 will be revealed in a random order, and no score or award will be shown. Judges will give constructive feedback to each entrant. The top 3 places will be revealed at the winners' announcement from 5 o'clock tonight. The rankings of the top 10 will be posted on our social media channels tomorrow. But before we get into that, make sure if you're here, 5 o'clock tonight is the time when we announce the category winners, so make sure you're around. If you're in Christchurch, come on down to the Majestic, have a look around the oh my goodness, the exhibition hall, and see some of the entries from the Iris Professional Photography Awards. I had a quick peek yesterday, and they are looking amazing. Now, some of these are going to be auctioned off tomorrow at 6 o'clock. So make sure you're here and you can bid for them. You'll be able to tell which ones are up for auction because they have little signs and they're marked, "I'm up for auction." And I normally buy a couple, so I will be definitely going and checking them out. New Zealand Photo Show is on this Friday and Saturday. It's not too late to get a ticket for a single workshop, one day, or the whole 2-day event. It's a fabulous lineup, and there's workshop-based events. Plus, on Sunday, we have a range of masterclasses. So if you're after some more in-depth learning, book online at nzphotoshop.co.nz. Or go see the crew at the registration desk, and they will be able to help you. Also, if you're in Christchurch, come down and have a look. We have free education sessions with Photo Connect. You do need to register for these events in order to be able to attend, so check out the schedule and sign up nzphotoshop.co.nz. And I really recommend these if you're in the amateur or even in the professional crew and just starting out. These are really amazing photographers that are giving up their time to help you to learn, and you can go and pick their brain, and I really recommend doing that. All right, let's get into the top 10. I know you're all wanting to know. Here we go. Okay. Macro category, top 10 finalists. This is number 1. Congratulations, Sharon.
What an explosion of colour, and yet it has such delicacy and ethereal qualities. You get both the dynamic feeling of the explosion, but also the real delicacy. I think you've handled the depth of field so well with that creamy bokeh that's so appealing, and the reflections within each little droplet are just beautiful.
Yeah, it really is. The colour is the standout in this, and just the soft nature of the background, out of focus background, is just beautiful. There's a couple of little droplets just slightly out of focus in the top bit, which would be a slight improvement, but well done, Sharon.
I love this, Sharon. Congratulations. There's so many stories you can actually read into this. You're looking at that main reflection right up in that top bubble of all the surrounds, and it's almost like this is the new birth of Mama that's actually holding all this together, and you can see the new life starting. Absolutely adore it. It's like there's Mama in the Bubba and Mama. Well, they've got Bubba and the Mama, and they're the relatives of that is just gorgeous. I'm feeling quite maternal with this image. Well done.
And this is the next one of our top 10 finalists. Congratulations, Jay. Well done.
Well done, Jay. It's almost like a tornado effect, and there's so much going on in this image. There's a lot of detail. There's obviously what looks like some sort of insect on the right, the purpley blue thing, and all those little bubbles right up the top and all over it, just reflecting the environment. So it's beautiful. The only thing I would say is just on the bottom right-hand corner, there's a couple of bits of white there. I would just tone those down because they sort of, you don't want them to compete with the rest of the image.
The way that you've captured the reflections within the bubbles without revealing yourself in them, I think is quite masterful. I really enjoy the depth of field and the focus stacking, the way that you've emphasised the most important parts of this photograph. Again, I think I would just echo what John had to say in terms of critique. I think the separation of the left structure and the creature on the right, you've positioned yourself perfectly or positioned them perfectly either way. So yeah, I think this is a really well crafted and beautiful, delicate, detailed photograph.
It's really neat, Jay, when you look at an image that's this tiny and so perfect, and the harmony of nature that we couldn't as humans even imagine to get this perfect. It actually makes, I know I've never thought I'd say this, but in a macro category, it can make you feel emotional about the perfection of colour, of opposites, and you've just nailed it. And I'm just so stoked you've given this to us. It's really, get emotional over a macro image. I'm doing it, mate. This is beautiful. I love it. Thank you so much for presenting this to us. I'm really rapt that you've entered and done this work.
And this is another one of our top 10 finalists. Congratulations. Well done.
Oh, this is all about colour, and also I love the little wee spider dangling down. Just leads you into the rest of it, and just right up through the inset to the eyes and the transparency of the wings. It's just beautiful. If I could just critique a little bit of a top right up, I'd just darken that down a little bit. There's just to the right of the thing hanging down, there's a little bit of a bright spot there. And on the left-hand side of the top part as well, I'd just slightly darken that, and other than that, it's just brilliant. Thanks.
It's an amazing moment to capture the cicada emerging from its chrysalis, the wings, the moment that you've captured that they're actually outstretched and unfurled, and the way that you've managed to highlight the incredible iridescence and the colours against that black background, I think has been so well done. It looks on the screen that we're looking at that the spider is not as sharp as the cicada, but that's a very minor critique. So, and I echo what John said too, but the colours are just amazing.
Maxim, congratulations. I don't know what you've named this. Is it emergence? That's the only thing I can think of. It's just gorgeous. And see those opposites of those colours and the strikingness, the strength of it, just has me fascinated. Well done.
And the next one of our top 10 finalists, congratulations to Benny.
Yeah, well done, Benny. This is beautiful. I mean, the control of the focus here, either through image focus stacking or is just brilliant. And I love just the subtlety of the green in the background. Having all those mushrooms in focus really adds to it, and the foreground is beautifully done as well. So well done.
The way that you've positioned yourself underneath to emphasise the filigree of the mushroom cups is that is really amazing. The colour contrast of the earthy browns against the glorious bokeh of the green in the background, that deep green, those two colours just work so well together. They are complementing each other absolutely beautifully. And the greenery in the foreground being so sharp and so delicate, and just coming up into the background, just having their own little horizon line there. That's masterfully done. I just really enjoy this, both as a macro photograph and a bit of an art piece. The artistry of those mushrooms has been captured beautifully.
Congratulations, Benny. Just gorgeous. I'm really loving the umbrella-like look of the underside of this fungi. And there's the name of it, and my brain, I'm a bit tired today, and my brain can't remember the name of the underside of the fungi, and I'm sorry about that. But it's showing the mimics that us humans try to replicate that's already in nature. And it's done better than what us humans can do. We use the umbrellas, and it's almost an umbrella-like. So you've actually shown us how silly we are compared to the perfection of what nature can do. Little tiny bit of critique there, just on the bottom right-hand side. Maybe just to just shade that down a tiny bit, just fraction it down with the highlights on it. Minor critique there. Well done. Congratulations.
And we're on to our next finalist. Congratulations on making the top 10. Well done, Ricky.
Congratulations, Ricky. Absolutely gorgeous. It's given you just an explosion of a moment too as well. You just feel that this is, it gives you that tension right down solid at that bottom dark piece as well. This time, I almost wondered just maybe tiny bit lifting of the luminance of those blues and the purple area, the magentas, would have been, sorry, not the magenta, more the blue, I think would kind of elevate it just a fraction, but beautiful, delicate, crystal-like. Well done.
The depth in this is really impressive. It has such a 3D feel to it. You really get the sense of this element in the space that it's in, standing out. And what I really love is the colours that you've put around it. So we've got that, really beautiful pinky golden element at the base that just glows within the colour that it's in. The reflection is slightly lighter than on the monitor that we're looking at is slightly lighter than the image itself, the structure itself, and that is a little distracting. So I would probably darken that down, make it give it a bit more contrast, so that the reflection works with the structure rather than detracts from it.
Yeah, well done, Ricky. I just like your light source reflection of the flash in the middle. Almost looks like a moon, sort of brings another depth to it. If I was going to critique anything on it, on the dark stem, it looks like there's a lot of artefacts there and colour fringing. So I'd address that, but beautiful work.
And the next image that's made our top 10. Congratulations. Well done.
Yeah, well done, Gail. Love the colour tone of that little mushroom. My only thing, I think the white area above, really, lighter areas tend to attract the eye, and it's drawing me away from the mushroom itself, and what holds the mushroom is the colour intensity of the reds, and I would just crop it in a little more and emphasise the mushroom itself.
Gail, congratulations. This is just gorgeous. It's given me a feeling of like a little bit of magic kind of stuff going on. I'm not going to say magic mushroom, that's just corny because it's not. It's almost like a doo-doo-doo-doo, like a kind of like a spooky outer space kind of thing of this thing emerging, especially at the base. I think you've done really well there. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that because I think that's the feeling that I get from it, that I'd just like to give that back to you. Thank you so much, Gail.
And our next image that's made it to the top 10, congratulations, well done.
Wow. I love how you have used such a minimal colour palette to its full extent. It's so, there's so little colour, and yet the colour has been beautifully handled, and those, the spider, and the tree work beautifully together. The textures are fantastic. You really get, the composition is terrific. The upside down spider, because you know that we're watching what the spider's doing, but the way that you've positioned it so that we are also interested in its prey and the iridescence on that fly's wings, that's really, really beautifully done. I'm interested in, as a viewer, I'm interested in both the spider and its prey, and you've captured that in a way that conveys that that's what we're supposed to be enjoying. So I think you've really done that masterfully.
Totally agree. So well done. Just one of the things that struck out at me as I looked more and more into this image is the spider's eyes almost looking straight at me, and it's almost saying, "Haha, I've got it." You know, this is brilliant. Thank you.
Congratulations, Noelle. I'm just absolutely thrilled for you. As Mika said, the colour palette is just perfect. The cropping just insanely good as well. And it's such a calm scene, but it's so gross when you actually think of the spider just devouring this other creature here. And it also makes you think that this other creature is too late because in a human sense we'll be thinking we should have gone down to the windsurf shop because we've got a little bit of a clip in our sails here. This fly could have been caught because it was a little bit slow on the uptake because it's got a little bit of damage done to its wing. And it's like, oh, if only I'd got that fixed. You know, I wouldn't be now going to a slow death. I'm sorry to give that analogy there, but it's just amazing. That's my lean into it, and the boldness of the eye too, just insane. Well done, congratulations. Very different scene.
And this is the next image from our top 10. Starting to see a few names here. Congratulations again, Benny.
The underwater feel of this is quite remarkable. I get a feeling of either wind or water through the vegetation, and that gives it a sense that just because of the curvaceousness of it, you know, it has movement in a static image, and that's been so well crafted and created. They do look like they're kind of like trees, you know, in a storm or something, and the detail, the control of the lighting, the bokeh, the little spider web that I'm quite enjoying at the top left, the little buds sticking up in the background. There's just so much to enjoy in this photograph, and it's because you have lit it and you have positioned yourself in a way that allows us to fully appreciate it. Congratulations.
Yeah, another good shot, Benny. Well, more than a good shot, exceptional. And yeah, I just love again the colour contrast with the red and the green, the waviness that was mentioned also with that underwater sort of feeling. You know, I just last week I was on the Great Barrier Reef and I was seeing that sort of thing underwater, except for the mushrooms, of course. But just on the top left corner, I'd probably remove that stick. And it tends to, because of the out of focus area near it, it tends to really make it stand out. But that's all I can say. Well done.
Yeah, well done, Benny. Congratulations. It gives us another feeling, which the other two judges have picked up on, that I'm the same. I also love that beautiful yellow just at the top of the base of the stems, the pulling out, and you almost kind of feel it almost pulling away from the tops. You've just highlighted that beautifully, not too bright, not too muted. Perfect. Well done.
And this is our next top 10 finalists. Congratulations.
Jay, this has done my head in. I am absolutely in awe. How the heck do you do this? These are giving me a sense of like almost horror, because you think you're waiting for these spores to explode and go out, and you almost think of what the world went through a few years ago with a disease that breathing in the spores that happened. But the thing that's really blown me away, and I'm sorry, Michelle, I'm going to spend a bit of time here because this has just rocked my world. I know it has to be focused at because it's so tiny, but when I think about how tiny it is, I'm trying to describe the size of these things. These are, I don't even know if they're 2 mil. I actually think they're less than 1 mil of height. They are so tiny to even see this on, I think on the ground. It'd have to be on the ground, but I'm actually blown away that something so tiny can be photographed, and you've got so much detail. You are at absolute top of your game, and I'm just wanting to wave my hands in the air and go, how the heck did you get this? Boom. Well done. And I'm sorry I'm raving, but my actual right leg is shaking with nerves. Yeah, well done. I'm just shaking. It's great.
So I love not just the literal interpretation, but the symbolic interpretation. You know, I feel like we're looking at aliens or lava exploding, but something that's not of this world, and yet it's so well grounded. I love that these they are fungi. The way that they've connected with the earth, with the reflections, it's created like a moonscape or an alienscape that is allowing us to enjoy something that's foreign, but in a way that is, enjoyable and we can appreciate it. The depth of field, I think the bokeh in the background, that's that lovely blue that really emphasises the gold and the glowing structures. That's all been really beautifully done.
Yeah, well done, Jay. I just want to echo exactly what the other two judges have said, and I just totally agree with it. It's beautiful.
If they're 1 or 2 mil, this is
Insane.
amazing.
Yeah, insane.
That's insane. I can't even see 1 or 2 mils, let alone trying to photograph it.
Michelle and I are fighting to talk because we're so excited. But I feel like a fool even talking to this entrant because I know how clever they are, and I feel like an idiot even giving any critique here.
Definitely not. All right. And another top 10 finalist. Congratulations. Well done.
I think this is so beautifully photographed in a way that the dragonfly is part of its environment. The lighting is just beautiful. It's almost like we've got studio lighting, and you've created a portrait of a creature that is so beautiful, and it's so still. You've captured every little detail of their wings. The wings are accentuated by what's in the background. It gives it a sense of place. The vegetation around it, rather than competing with it, I think just gives it the placement of where it lives. The only critique that I would offer is that bottom leaf is just a little bit bright, but I think it should be there. I just think it's just taking the attention just a little bit. But I really love the colour palette, the detail and the lighting are just superb.
Yeah, well done, Kirsty. This is beautiful. I mean, it doesn't have a full depth of field, but I actually think it works in favour of it, you know. I mean, the tail of it's slightly soft and things like that, and the wingtips. In portraiture, we say focus on the closest eye, which you've pretty much done, and but also like the brightness of the leaf that it's on, that it sort of draws you to it as well. And I totally agree with the bottom leaf there. That should be darkened down a little bit, but the vignetting in it also works well for this image.
Hey Kirsty, congratulations. You've just done the colour harmony so beautifully here, and you've really highlighted the fact of sometimes you see the man-made rustic art pieces that artists do with their metalware, and the russets that you've brought through and the intricacy of what nature's done before us, before we've even tried to replicate it. Just beautiful. I think you've also handled it quite well because you can't control where this dragonfly has been. Behind the back wing, there's a bit of greenness from the background foliage, and I hope a judge doesn't mistake that for a bit of haloing. I know it's there in the background, so I'm hoping in the future if you enter this, I'm wondering if you could maybe just fractionally darken it down, just to stop a judge from misconstruing that you've done a haloing. It's a bit tricky for you, but it's beautiful, and hopefully they'll see past that. Just well done. Gorgeous.
And congratulations to all the entrants. I really enjoyed that. Almost made me want to dig out my 100ml out of my safe, but we'll maybe. Congratulations, and don't forget to check back from 5 p.m. for the winner's announcement. And a huge thank you to Photo Warehouse for sponsoring the Amateur Awards this year. Very grateful for them. Thank you. And we will be back at 10:30 for the next one.